if you're not the Australian breakdancer from the Olympics, if you're not talking about the Australian breakdancer from the Olympics, which, by the way, her name is Ray Gunn, which is like, I think her name was Reagan, whatever. Neither here nor there. I don't want to talk about it.
No.
It is defining me.
Well, what about the French pole vaulter whose penis got in the way of his pole vaulting?
That's fine. And also the Turkish hitman who showed up with no eyewear and no earwear in his hand in his pockets. And he's like, I will get silver. If I get gold, they will know something is up and I am hitman. There you go. Gold medal. Thank you. You will never convince me that man wasn't a hitman. Can we do an Olympics podcast?
We should. Yeah, that breakdancer was some bullshit, man. That was amazing.
The Olympics weren't Olympicing. These are my top 5 things I care about.
Yeah.
Synchronized swimming. Because how?
Yeah.
Which, I'm sorry, they don't call it synchronized swimming anymore. They call it artistic swimming.
Why? Because they couldn't get the swimming synchronized enough? I don't know, man. Those divers freak me. Every fucking time they jump off the board, I'm like, their head!
Because we lived through Greg Louganis.
Yeah.
We're old enough to know Greg Louganis, and that traumatized me. I have diving PTSD. Okay, synchronized swimming.
Yeah.
Obviously Simone Biles.
Duh.
The Turkish shooter, the Australian dancer. The pole vaulter was fine, but I heard he has an OnlyFans now.
Like, if you're going to fail at the Olympics, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, why not? Think about the future.
I'm sorry that I let my country down, but I think the women of France are very happy now.
Yeah, happy with my dick dong.
Happy with my giant third pole.
Okay, can we take 30 seconds and talk about Ray Gunn?
I'm actually going to audition for the Olympics 2028.
I am going to apply for Australian citizenship.
Yes.
Move to Australia.
Yeah.
Move everything to Australia. Just so I can qualify for something else, because now they've taken away breakdancing in 2028.
What?
It's gone. It's done. They took it away.
Why? We only got 1 year?
I don't know. I mean, I think people were a little skeptical as to whether or not it's a sport. And I can argue both ways. And I love breakdancing. I love breakdancing.
Oh, yeah.
It could be a sport, but so could ballroom dancing.
Yeah.
And so could ballet.
Yeah.
So I get it. I think they were like, this didn't work out. Also, Ray Gunn, you shit the bed. That is weird. Let's take it away.
She also has an OnlyFans now, too.
Taylor said it's the kangaroo hop that did it.
Boy.
Yes, and the sprinkler.
So the thing about the men's gymnastics not having any music is I didn't realize that they also weren't required to do those really stupid flippity-flappity arm non-dance moves that the women have to do.
When gymnasts throw in the element of dance,
just flip, man.
It is so weird to me.
Yeah.
I have said that for years. I also think all the little things on the beam are weird.
Did you see the one where every single competitor fell off the beam and the one who won gold just didn't fall off the beam?
Who didn't fall off, she wins. Welcome to Shut the Fuck Up, Nick Lachey. Despite this entire intro, we are a Love is Blind recap podcast. My name is Ellyn Marsh. That is Daisy Egan. We are coming to you with a whole new season. Tell them what we're doing, Daisy Marie.
Well, hello, Governor. We're covering Love is Blind UK.
I am going to be so fucking insufferable on this show.
Oh, boy.
So let me give you a disclaimer.
Yeah, yes, please.
I was married to a Brit.
Yeah.
I was married to an Englishman. I am slightly an Anglophile. I know a lot about whatever I know about the culture. Okay, you know I'm a fucking weirdo. I'm sure this is something to do with my ADHD or whatever. I can usually tell where people are from.
Yeah, I can too. Even if they don't have an accent anymore, I can usually, people are like, how did you hear that? And I'm like, it's there.
And I'm going to tell you ahead of time, my ex-husband has categorically one of the most distinct accents in all of England. You'll ask any English person, and a Brummie from Birmingham, they have one of the most distinct accents, and one of the people here is from Birmingham.
Yes.
So listen, buckle up. You're here. You paid for this shit. This is on you.
I need to piggyback off of that comment and just say, to remind our listeners that we are a comedy podcast and our job is to be judgy. So if you hear us making jokes about people's accents or people's nose jobs or something like that, like, that's our job. And the more that you have to say about it, the harder it makes our jobs. Like if I say that somebody might have been making a backhanded compliment about someone else's acne scars, I'm not being shitty about someone's acne scars. I'm just saying a thing that existed. So let's just keep that in mind. We're all just having a good time. There's multiple genocides happening in the world. We have a literal sociopath running for president. Let's just let this be a fun time.
Let's just let this be a safe space for silly gooseness.
Let's just be silly gooses.
We are silly geese. I could do a whole podcast making fun of myself if you want that, because there's a lot there. There's a lot of material there.
Sure is.
But I'm not. I'm making fun of Love is Blind. So Harris had this idea. She was like, do you guys know that like UK is nailing it and everyone is obsessed and it's trending? Why are you guys going in a DeLorean back in time to season 3?
Yeah, we were like, no, we're going to go back to a season that happened like 5 years ago because that seems like good content.
We're not the brightest bulbs. Are you guys here for our intelligent, or are you here for whatever it is we do here? Which, honestly, why are you here? This seems like a you problem.
That does.
We're going to be here irregardless.
Oh my God, we have to fucking get into it. First of all, Love is Blind UK, we start out knowing that at least one wedding happens, which is standard. Like they do that on the American version, but they're showing people's faces. I was
very strange.
That's not how you do television.
Yeah, it's supposed to be wrapped in innuendo.
Yeah, I don't know. I prefer it wrapped in bacon.
But I don't know. You know, they tricked us because on season 6, they showed Chelsea getting married.
They did?
In the preview. And Chelsea and Jimmy didn't even make it to the altar. So it could be red herrings. Yes, in the intro, you see her moving her veil. I think it was probably like stolen footage from when she was trying on a dress or something. I don't know. Or maybe they made them get dressed up, but
could you imagine?
It does appear that we know some of the endings. I didn't pay attention because those people are faceless until I learned who they are.
100%.
And I'm not going to go back and watch it.
Fuck no. The very first person we meet is Sam. He's 31. He's a project design manager, and he's very impressed with how tall all the men are in the men's quarters. And then 2 jabronis who literally nobody has ever heard of before on the planet Earth show up. Some fucking people named Matt and Emma Willis. Nobody knows who these people are. Who are these people? Nobody knows who these people are.
Okay, I'm going to pop in with a bunch of information about British culture. British culture, they'll idolize anyone.
Well, they don't have very many people. So.
Right. You had one hit in 1992. You could still be on the cover of Hello magazine.
Yeah.
You could be on Big Brother. You could have 6 lines on Friends and Neighbors. You never know what random person is famous in England because they sort of just idolize everyone. So I was like, who are these people? Turns out no one seems to know who they are. They're not famous at all.
Yeah, Emma's like an anchor, and Matt's like, I don't know, a musician or an actor or something.
They're married, though.
They're married. That's their one claim to fame. We meet Connor, 31. He's a health food business owner, and honestly, I didn't listen to a word he was saying because his accent was so cute that all I heard was cute accent, and the words just went right over my head. I would listen to him read a fucking computer manual.
Yes, this is going to be a problem.
It is. It is. So, you know, we get the normal, like, oh, why are you doing this experiment? Dating is superficial. The dating apps are superficial, yada, yada, yada. And Emma Willis, who I'm calling a version of Sporty Spice and Posh Spice mixed together, is like, well, this is perfect. And her husband, who looks like Jesse Williams, says they're going to meet a whole lot of ladies. They explain how the show works.
Right. And they pose the question that our favorite people do, is love blind? Which we know the answer, but this is England and they don't know stuff because of, I don't know, the war.
They're a very new country. So it makes sense.
You know, they say, what brought you here? And there's this woman, her name's Shirley.
Yeah.
She's 27. Did you see what her lower third said she was for a profession?
No, I completely left her out of my notes.
She's a junior doctor.
What?
I feel like you're a doctor or not.
Yeah.
You could be like a junior camp counselor, or like in my talent agency, they have like junior agents. Yeah. But I want to go to a doctor.
Yeah.
And you will probably be a doctor. And they were like, okay, you need to see a doctor. We don't have one here, but like, here's the junior doctor.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I'm going to wait for the doctor.
Yeah.
I want the full.
I want the senior doctor.
I want the one that's a doctor.
Maybe that's what they call residents.
Maybe.
Yeah. Like the place that I go to for my primary care is like a residency. So like everybody there is like, I'm going to be a doctor soon. And I'm like, okay, fingers crossed I don't die.
Right. And not picky about a lot of things. I'm really not. I'm not picky about the food that I eat. I'm not picky about where I sleep. I'm not picky about the men that I date, apparently. I'm going to be picky about seeing a doctor.
Yeah, I agree.
But Shirley's beautiful, and I hope for the best. And the other thing that she says is they say, why are you here? And Shirley says,
in my opinion, it's the men.
So in addition to not knowing that we don't eat steaks well done,
right,
they also don't know about men in England, which is new information. Do you know they eat their steaks well done? If you order a steak, it is coming burned.
No. Don't do that. Well, it's probably because of all the plague. And so they're like, we have to cook the shit out of everything.
I don't know. Their food is so weird. You know, they call fries chips. And chips
crisps.
They call crisps. And they put gravy on their fries.
And they eat biscuits, which are cookies.
Right.
And apparently they call their balls budgies, which we're going to find out later.
And you know, they call a vagina a fanny.
Yes, I do know
Very
that.
confusing.
Which makes sense because you carry a fanny pack in the front. You don't carry it in the back.
I carry it on my hip. But yeah, it's a learning curve.
It really is. So now the pods are open.
Yep.
And we meet Freda, who's 32, and apparently has no job, according to his lower third. He tells us he's a catch because he's a caring person and has a lot of love to give. And he's very affectionate.
Okay, so I wrote in my notes, I was writing this in real time. I said, I feel like he's either Geordie or Manchester.
I said he's clearly from the north of England.
Yeah, Geordie is like the northerness. It's like Billy Elliot. Like Geordie.
Yeah.
It's almost like Ireland, right? Mm-hmm. And then he started talking, and in my notes I wrote, nope, Manchester. He's from Manchester.
Yeah. Again, another one I could listen to forever and ever and ever. Did you watch Ted Lasso?
No.
Oh, you should watch Ted Lasso.
I don't watch TV.
I know, you're strange. So his date asks him what he does for work, and now we find out he's a funeral director. I don't know why Netflix felt like they had to be coy about that. So the Scottish woman he's on a date with is absolutely gagged. And he tells us that his job has made it hard to date, that people are uncomfortable with the whole idea. And one woman asks him if she's like, are you just fine with dead bodies? And he says something very sweet.
So sweet.
He says, yeah, because I think, well, that's someone's loved one. Aww.
He says he considers it an honor to take care of them. I was like, this man is so sweet and empathetic.
And cute.
Yeah. And so then another woman walks in. Her name is Catherine, 29 years old, beautiful. She's a dental assistant. I can't place her accent just yet.
No, she's a dental nurse.
Okay, you're jumping the gun. Her lower third says dental assistant.
Oh, it did? And she said dental nurse?
No. And then this is what I wrote in my notes. I wrote, I can't place it. I'm just going to guess London. And she just guessed he was from Manchester. Oh my God, I was right. I love being right. That's what I wrote in my notes. Okay. Here's the thing. Freddie, who I just fell in love with in an instant, he pissed me off for 2 seconds because she says, I'm in dentistry.
Right.
And he says, oh, you a dental nurse?
Yes.
I was like, sir, she could be a dentist.
Yeah.
So shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
But then she says, I'm a dental nurse. And then what does he say?
I don't know.
He says, oh, flippin' heck. He says it twice. He says flippin' heck twice. And I put my vagina on a platter and I sent it to him in England.